Hello, this is Jim Whitehead of SaleServe and Power SaleServe. I am a generator company representing Generac generators. Periodically, I will submit and post a educational podcast that will hopefully answer some of the questions you may have related to the installation of a Generac generator. First of all, you have 4 choices of fuels for both Generac and most generators. The first one is diesel fuel, another one is gasoline, a third one is natural gas, and a fourth one is liquid propane. Portable generators usually run on gasoline. Large commercial generators usually run on diesel fuel. Residential generators usually run on natural gas or propane. Let's talk about natural gas and propane. Generac generators shipped from the factory most often to run on natural gas, but can be converted easily and are designed to be converted to propane if that's the gas you're going to have available on your property. Larger Generac units from 60 kW up to 150 kW, for example, you have to order the generator specifically for the gas that you are going to have available. If you have natural gas, you probably know you have natural gas. Either your neighbors have it, you already have it, you can see meters. Each home has its own natural gas meter. Most of Sunrise, Florida has natural gas, which is serviced by the city of Sunrise. A lot of Hollywood has natural gas, North Miami, Golden Beach, parts of Plantation, and they are all serviced by Tico Gas Company. If you have natural gas to your property, you probably are using it for, let's say, a hot water heater already. The good news, one good news related to natural gas is that if you are using it for some appliances that could be electrical instead of running on gas, your electrical use is lower, and thusly we can put a smaller generator in your home. With natural gas, the meter that you typically would have is what we call a half PSI meter. Since generators need quite a lot of gas, we would say volume of gas, part of the installation process is to get your gas company to raise your pressure to 2 PSI. Again, that's because the generator needs quite a lot of gas, and we need to deliver a certain range of pressure to that generator to run more specifically. The big thing with running a generator, the more electrical appliance you're running, the higher your fuel use would be. So that's something to keep in mind. If you have natural gas, the benefit over propane is that the installation will actually be cheaper in the long run. The only benefit to propane, you're not sharing it with your neighbors. The propane is your own gas. One quick aside to really whether you have propane or natural gas is installing a solar hot water system. The benefit of a solar hot water system is that it takes you completely off the grid related to either your generator needing to supply power to your hot water heater or your electrical company, FPL. When we install a solar system, the reduction in the generator size pays for most of the solar system, and accordingly you then get the savings all year round. Back to the gases. If you do not have natural gas on your site, we would then need to install a propane supply. Now this could be either above ground, usually 4 125-gallon propane tanks, or below ground, we may install a 500 or 1,000-gallon tank. Now, just at one point, each town and city has different rules as to the amount of gas you can have on your property, where it can be on your property, and the rules have to be followed and very specific. Towns and cities, believe it or not, usually allow the burying of a propane tank in your front yard. And since I've done and been involved with many of them, the good point after the initial dig and the burying of the tank, they become relatively inconspicuous. One important installation requirement for propane tanks is that they need to be equal or less than 125 feet from the street, and that is mainly for filling that tank. As you would expect, when you need fuel, a propane truck comes to your address and has a hose and has to, of course, reach the top of the tank so that it can be filled. Another good point that we stress when you have gas on your property is that you can use different appliances instead of using your electricity. And some are more efficient in the sense run on gas versus the electrical counterpart. One example is a propane-fired tankless hot water heater. By the way, both of these gases, natural gas or propane, are very, very safe. I often tell customers that a mishap would usually be caused by malicious behavior. Each of these gases are odorless as they come out of production, but a material is added to the gas so that there's a very, very distinct odor. Smell gas, you need to call your gas company, and usually that's just a minor leak that they need to take care of. It's obviously something you do not need to should not let go. Now, on a scale of 1 to 6, just giving you an idea about the danger or lack of danger, on a scale of 1 to 6, natural gas is a 1, propane is a 3, and gasoline is a 6. So if you think about it, both propane and natural gas are much less flammable than gasoline is, but look at all the millions of gallons of gasoline that we have sitting in cars all over the world. So again, usually you don't hear of a car just spontaneously exploding. It is generally either a collision or someone is malicious. So the good news is your natural gas setup or propane setup is significantly less dangerous. Most generators use anywhere from 3 gallons to 7 gallons of fuel per hour. Also, for example, the higher the electrical load, the more fuel you will use. So in other words, if you have your hot water heater running, it's an electrical hot water heater, really only run that hot water heater for an hour or 2 hours to ensure you have enough hot water, but you're not just running it for the sake of running it. Now, the state of Florida recommends that you are self-sufficient with food, water, and of course with a generator situation where you would be able to be all set for at least 3 days. Most of our installations allow for you to have fuel for 5 to 7 days, and that's important. As a little aside, we want to ensure that you are comfortable, that you run certain items, and one of them is air conditioning. Sometimes customers feel they don't need air conditioning, but all installations need to have a plan where you can stay cool and that you have hot water. Now, after Wilma, for example, the propane companies were out and available for refills after a couple days, but in some cases could not get into some locations for 4 days due to trees blocking the roads. So that's why we really try to make sure you have enough gas to run and stay self-sufficient for 5 to 7 days. You will usually have a hurricane fill arrangement with your propane company so that they will fill you way in advance of the time that you are running low on gas. Now, in conclusion, if you buy a generator, residential generator, you probably will use either natural gas or liquid propane. These gases are safe and very useful beyond your generator use. A solar powered water system is a great option to add to your generator installation plan. A tankless hot water system is also a good choice. Another big, very important point is all gas jobs of this nature require full permitting and inspections. And that is for your safety, ensuring that there are no corners cut and that you can be extremely comfortable with your gas. Thank you very much for your attention. Please call Jim Whitehead anytime, toll free, 866-535-5199. That's 866-535-5199. Thank you again.